Hi, it's Michi and welcome to Daily Reflections. And today we have another special impromptu talk. For those who don't know, impromptu talk is usually where you're on stage and the moderator or the audience gives you a question, a topic, something to think and especially talk about. So you have to think on your feet and talk about it in an improvisational way. And that's what we're gonna do today again. Last time I've used a digital randomizer for the prompts. And this time, so that you can also look at me, maybe you've seen it already, I have these strips of paper where I've printed out, cut it out. It was very laborious. And yeah, we'll draw from it. We still again have two categories. It's the prompt and like the topic, the question. And then we have emotions to make it more interesting. And then we'll have 2 or 3 minutes where you can listen and watch to my impromptu talk. And then we'll see how it went. All right. So first, so you can see it's randomized. I won't look. It's hard. Is can you read it? Okay. How would you describe an average person? And the emotion is whoops. Bored. Well, I guess that fits well. But we'll make it a boring talk, right? All right, 2 to 3 minutes is up. How would you describe an average person? Well, an average person is could be you, could be me, could be somebody else. Is neither male nor female. Is most likely something in between. Luckily, we have the LGBTQ plus discussion going on, so I think the average person really well fits into that into that bucket. And what else? Average. An average person works or doesn't work. An average person probably lives or is dead already. Can't be both. Maybe he, she, it can. Then an average person is also can be all sorts of moods. It can be it, he, she can be happy, sad, can be excited or scared. And then an average person wears clothes from any color, gray, black, white. But the real point is that there's no such thing as an average person. Although we, especially when using statistics, we don't have, we tend to put people into buckets, we create personas, and we try to look at the world around us in terms of average. But then reality is that there's no such thing as average. Every person is unique. Every person has its unique characteristics, behaviors, ideas, values. And yes, to some extent, looking at the world in an average perspective doesn't necessarily mean that it captures everything. So average really has its limitations. So while you can still describe a person in terms of average, it doesn't necessarily mean that it makes sense. And then even more, I mean, the reason why I don't like it in particular is that having an average view on the world and on people isn't really interesting. What interests me and what makes a person interesting, what makes a story interesting, is that you describe it in a very particular way, in a very specific way that only fits to that one scenario, to that one scene, to that one person. And otherwise, you're averaged out. If that makes sense? I don't know. Yeah, so maybe I'm an average person. You're definitely not an average person, but there are lots of average persons out there, because if you take my description from earlier, it really fits on every person, literally. Um, but one distinct um, characteristic of a person is that it's a human being and not an animal, not any other thing. Um, yeah, so that's what an average person looks like. All right. How would you describe an average person? That didn't go necessarily go went the way I expected it to. I think that I drifted away from the original question a bit in terms of describing an average person, and I moved towards the pros and cons of average and how it unfolds in different ways. Yeah, I had a hard time incorporating the bored emotion, because the topic should not be boring, but I should, or the idea is that I present it in a way that you can feel that I'm bored about it. Maybe it was boring, either content wise or how I did it. So then it worked perfectly well. And yeah, for next time, I hope I get a better emotion, like excited, because I really like that one, or sad. And for now, I leave it to you. I'm looking forward to what you think about my impromptu talk, and we'll definitely do it again. I'm looking forward to see you. It's Mickey, and see you next time. Bye.